Welcome to Really Zoomed In Meet the Polymaker. There we go. I'm your host, Nicor, community manager, Joel. Whatever you want to call me, I have many names. I answer to most. So today's show is brought to you by Polymaker. Of course, we're here to talk about 3D printed news if you've never been here, and show off community prints throughout our Discord that are just getting better and better, and there's more and more coming in. But before that starts, right here, down here, enter. Enter to win a spool of filament. I am all clustered at the start of this, but I am awesome in the chat, YouTube, Twitch. Type that in there. You guys get entered into a chance for a free spool of filament. Trying to get things adjusted here. Apologize, but put that in there. You have the entire episode to type it in, but you might as well type it in now and get it in there. If you do it 1,000 times, you're only going to be entered once. So just type it in there. If you're unsure, type it in again. It's not going to hurt anything. I'll give you a last chance to enter at the end of the show, but as always, every week we also meet a new maker. We have a special guest, of course, this week, and one we've never talked to. So far, we haven't doubled up any guests. There's plenty of people to meet out there, and we're going to continue that trend as long as we can. So, with that said, let's move right into the news. First up, we're going to talk windmills, wind-powered energy. Some people like them, some people don't, but it's got 3D printing involved, so we're going to talk about it. Now, these are not the blades themselves, but they are the tips of the blades. So there's a lot of, between the aerodynamics of the blades and just a whole bunch of science that I don't fully understand that goes into these turbines to create the power that they create, to slice through the air with as best efficiency as they can. The tips make a big difference on that drag and the aerodynamics and the way that it does help produce that, efficient energy. So, as always, 3D printing comes to the rescue for changing things up, being able to test things on the fly and be able to print, on demand, on site, and, save cost in materials, supplies, and having to outsource and wait and, wait for delays of shipping because nobody's ever seen a delay in shipping. But yeah, so these ones, it's actually by Sandia National Laboratory, collaborating with Wetzel Wind Energy Services and Stratasys Direct. I didn't twist any of those up. But they're developing it as an innovative turbine blade tip that could greatly, like I said, increase efficiency of energy production. Now, 3D printing is going to help address what it usually does in most applications, address shortcomings or issues that are not as easy to fix in a production piece. To send this blade back to the factory that made it, to have them make a little minute change that could make a 5% efficiency, it's not feasible. There's too high of a cost in it, and they're just going to have to run with what they got. This is making it, more customizable and be able to change things up as we can with so many things now. This one specifically is designed for a 200 kilowatt scale turbine, 13 meter long blades, and it replaces about 15% of the tip of the blade, but it allows for easier and faster replacement of parts and improves aerodynamics. And also, which I thought was, I'd never thought about with windmills, it also helps erosion, damage from erosion, and also from lightning strikes. Obviously, you're using different composites. It's less conductive or not conductive. I never thought of it, and I thought that was a cool kind of snippet from that that article. So, next up, FDA-approved resin. Everybody always asking, is it safe to eat? Or not eat? Don't eat resin. Don't eat filament. Doesn't matter how good it smells. Don't eat it. We do not do not support that. But to use in cookie cutters or bowls or cups and things like that, there's always that debate. The material itself, a lot of them, not all, are safe for that, but it's the layers that you have an issue. We're not here to debate that. We're here to talk about what is approved. And resin printing, it's been used in the dental industry for a while now. Even I had my son at the orthodontist, had a whole entire resin lab, which was really cool. But now they're finally FDA approved to be able to use that resin in things like, actually, I think I have it all written down here. They are able to do units of crowns, inlays, onlays, veneers, and up to 7 unit temp bridges. And the material's already cleared for those applications in Europe. Like I said, now FDA approved for the US. It just opens up the world, hopefully reducing the cost of things. But again, it's that on-site thing where we don't have to go in, get your teeth dug into, come back in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks with, a half broken tooth, waiting for that new piece to be produced. They can just scan it right then and there. They already have the scanners in most dental places and orthodontist places. When you do the little bite wing bite down and they do the scans. A lot of those do 3D imaging. Now they can create that in-house, whether they have a designer in-house plus the printer. It's crazy because now, like I said, we're finally doing FDA approved resin rather than a, no, it should be safe. So it's the resin itself though is a nano ceramic filled biocompatible material, and it mimics the translucency and the opalescence of natural teeth. That way you don't have a super bright white tooth when your other ones are a little bit off white, or a yellow tooth if you have white teeth. So they can match that up. And of course, that you've probably seen it before. They have the UV cured stuff with the caps and things where they try to match the color. It's going to allow that. So they were just moving all in the right steps in health, as we do on a weekly basis, it seems at this point. Next up, we're going to talk about Rains and Zellerfield. Now, Rains I didn't hear about until I read this article, and they are a Scandinavian outerwear brand, and they have partnered with Zellerfeld. If you haven't heard of Zellerfeld, it's actually a company, I don't remember where he's out of, but makes custom 3D printed shoes. And the thing with them, I think that a lot of them are cool designs. Some are a little bit crazy, but they look more like a shoe. They're very stylish. They're comfortable from what I hear. I've never got to try one on. I think they were originally around about $300, but you had like a 7 to 14 week delay just because he has to produce them. He was doing a, in-house. I don't know what his setup is, but either way, they're collabing together to make what they're calling not a 3D printed shoe, but a 3D printed mule. I don't know if that's a Scandinavian thing or another country that calls shoes mules, or if it's just the name they want to give it. But together they're creating the Zip Mule, which is a slip-on style shoe, available actually as of August 14th. So if you go look up Rains or Zellerfeld, you can buy them now. I did not have a chance to look at the price there. Kind of waited the last second to do everything like I always do. But using the same 3D tech that they did when they collabed together the first time. They are print to order. They come in 3 colors currently: black, oat, which I believe is a brown, and orange. So just really cool shoes. Looking forward to seeing where this goes, because of course, I've printed TPU shoes and they haven't been bad. I've worn them 3 events and they're still holding up. What he's doing, the material that he uses and how he does it, I believe are a lot more comfortable than mine. I'm guessing, since he mass produces them and sells them for 300 pop. But be interesting. If anybody ever gets a pair and you're at one of the rep wraps, come see me because I want to check them out. Just don't have stinky feet. Next up, 3D printed homes. We're talking about homes, I think, on the weekly at this point. We've talked about concrete homes. We've talked about the dirt homes that are doing in, I believe, Africa. This one, yet another different way of doing homes. The University of Maine, which has one of the world's largest 3D printers, is now testing printing in sawdust, or using sawdust, which they acquire from the state's lumber industry. Pretty much a free resource, unless they're recycling that sawdust for something else. They're able to use the sawdust in a form to basically extrude, instead of a concrete, a kind of a compressed wood. I don't know the other additives they would add into it, but really awesome. They're looking to make cozy wooden cabins to help with the housing shortage in Maine. The machine itself is capable of building a 600 square foot house, 96 foot long, 36 foot wide, and 18 feet tall. So, small home, but still to print that. I don't remember how quickly it said it did, but that's using the bio-based material and prints at about 500 pounds per hour. So going through sawdust like it's nobody's business. And last but not least, who likes honey here? I love honey. Most people do. I'm not going to say you're not normal if you don't like honey, but you're not normal. So of course, you can buy it at the store. There's lots of places local, at least in Ohio, that people have their own beehives and harvest their own honey. And it is delicious on apples and crackers and anything that you really want to put it on, chicken. But this is actually designed by, I don't know how to pronounce it, Asya Igun. She's a designer and researcher at the University of Graz. She is the creator of a European-funded Hiveopolis. And now what she's doing is a 3D printed beehive. What's really cool about this is if you go on Instructables, she has the instructions on how to do this, how to create your own beehive, how to start it. Basically, the required materials are a 3D printer, obviously, a mycelium spawn, which I don't know where you get those. Is that an Amazon thing? If not, check your local field or bug people. I don't know what the technical term is of a bug person. But common substrates, hay, straw, wheat, things like that, and basic tools. So other than the mycelium spawn, where you get that from, most of us have what we need to start a beehive. And mind you, there's probably a lot of research you need to do on where you should place it, how to maintain it, and things like that, because bees can get out of hand. And yeah, I don't know if you guys want to be stung, or if you're allergic, I would probably advise against it also. But just a really cool cool concept. And like I said, somebody that's sharing even more stuff on how to do it. You go to Instructables and look up beehive, or Asya, it's ASYA, beehive, and you'll find the instructions and the whole list of materials for that. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get to the print highlights. And first up, we're going to see, we seem to share Pete's things, and he's not even going to be able to enjoy this show because he's not around. But Pete, or Shirtle 3D, our Lightbox ambassador, many names he goes by also, has printed the Deadpool characters. You got Gambit, Deadpool, and Wolverine, all files by Wexter, available through his Patreon, maybe some other places, but I know Patreon. And these turned out amazing. He talks about them in the Hangout. There's a lot of waste that goes into these, so definitely print multiple if you're going to do one yourself. Specifically the Deadpool, I know that red, and a lot of people I've seen doing it now, is the Starlight Mars that just came out from the Panchroma line. And it is a beautiful red, and it has just that deep color that's perfect for Deadpool. So I may or may not be printing a new Deadpool mask out of that color. So thanks for that share, Pete. Next up, we're going to see a print by Zany Maker Zach, and ignore 100%, ignore that model and designer, because that's not who it is. I did not get feedback yet on where this model is available, but Zany Maker Zach, I've met him at a couple rep wraps. It's easy to find him because he does gigantic prints. A lot of times it's resin. He's been doing some FDM stuff too, but they're huge. I think at Murph, it was a giant, like almost looked like a floating castle, but it was probably a few feet tall. Just huge scale. He's been on Jerry 3D HP's stream a lot of times. Just a guy that with a fun energy, just a good all-around guy. But either way, he did an amazing print here. It's also maybe not available on things. I don't know. I should probably proofread my scenes. but either way, like I said, awesome print. So whether we know where it's from or not, it's still awesome. So thanks for sharing, Zach. Next up, we have Danny, or Neokoi Prince, also Hugh Forge ambassador in our Discord. So again, another guy with multiple names. This one, he found this file on a forum, so he's trying to get the link. I didn't get it in time, so I'm not sure where it's available from. But it's just, I wanted to show it because, you know, there's always the cool multicolor things, there's the figures and everything, but a real life piece, fix a car, make it look better. There's a lot of it out there. So, I mean, this is a small snippet of what's actually possible, but just a cool print. It's for a O2 Camaro, I think it was, headlight covers. So printed out, I'm sure of Pet G, ASA. I think he said Pet G. But again, a cool functional print that helps the aesthetics of a car that's 22 years old. My math is good. Next up, we're going to see a print by The Turtle Virus. This print is designed by Turtle Man. Probably one and the same. I didn't link the names, I'm not sure. But it's the low poly Hyundai Vision 74 concept. I thought it was cool. Normally, you want to see those slick, cool cars, and those are neat too. But when low poly is done right, it looks awesome. I would love to see this either in a derby car or a RC car. So if anybody's coming out to, speaking of, if anybody's coming out to 3D Printopia this year at the end of September, there are 3D printed derby races. You can win all sorts of stuff. I don't have a list of prizes yet, but you can win stuff. So I don't know if this can be iterated. I didn't get a chance to actually see the files. If you can make this into a derby car, or if Turtle Man, if you're out there and you see this video by chance, turn that into a derby car. I don't know the details of the restrictions and size and all that, but it'd be really cool. And if not, if it's easy enough to do, I'll do it. I'll participate and win. And last but not least, we're going to show, we show all these beautiful prints, but we all have done it many times. We've had a failed print, a layer shift, filament run out when the sensor doesn't pick it up, hot end clogs, many different things. So I want to showcase not every bad print is a bad print. Mr. J Play, who printed this group planner, did just that. Hey, it's unfortunate, you had some filament wasted, but he made light of the subject, made it into just a whole little construction site and barricaded it off. So I just thought it was a very cute idea, and just shows that, sometimes you just got to laugh it off. You're going to have a failed print. Sometimes it's going to be much further than this or much more filament, and it is unfortunate, but you can always print another one. So thank you all for sharing those prints. If you have a print that you're super proud of that you want to share with everybody, in our Discord at discord.polymaker.com, we have our show off prints channel. Post it in there. Post in there if you can. Link where the model's from. Put some information down if you use some Polymaker filament. Let me know what you use. I always like the details, then I don't have to go searching for it when I wait till last second to prepare things. So, but I always appreciate a share, even if the information is not there. If it's a cool print, I'm willing to share it. So thank you all for sharing. But we're almost to that point of meeting our next maker. So until then, enjoy these commercials and we'll be right back.
Whoa, I'd love to get into 3D printing, but I live here on the sun where the UV rays are nuts. Wait just one moment there, strapping young chap. Have you ever heard of Polymaker ASA? Polymaker ASA is UV resistant, so it is the perfect application for printing near or around the sun. No way, bro. Yes way, brosif. Here, try it out. Radical, man. If you need a weather-resistant material, make sure you check out Polymaker's ASA. Printing on the sun is no problem at all with Polymaker ASA.
Imagine owning some of the best songs about 3D printing this Discord has to offer. Polymaker presents 3D Printing Hits by Silverback and Little D, the best renditions of some of the greatest hits of all time. Hits like Hallelujah, Polly Smooth Criminal, All That She Wants Is Another Printer, Print Away,
There you go, print away.
Still the TD1, All About That Bag, No Stabbies, and Polyman.
It's a file tonight. We're all in the mood to see it extrude, 'cause you've got your printer tuned right.
Reserve your CD today with a special TV offer by going to polymaker.com and paying $39.99. Have your credit card ready. Seriously though, this music was a joke. Go buy some Polymaker.
And welcome back to Meet the Polymaker. So, yes, I seen a message in there. There's a new commercial coming, not added this week. So, it'll be in there. But real quick, too, I noticed that Westery1 rated in. Thank you, Westery. Welcome in if you're still in here. And welcome whoever came with her. So, we are getting ready to meet our next maker. You guys may know this maker from the community. So, goes by many names. But we're going to get ready to meet him. His name is... It used to be Sideline Review, but he's now known as Sideline View Station. So let's go meet him. Welcome in, Sideline. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Can you guys hear everything? I think everything come through. I tested it, but I'm used to hearing it and hearing it.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yep, I can hear you.
Good. Awesome.
Echo. Okay. It'll get out, but real quick for those that
Echo
don't,
on his end.
Yeah, probably. But those that don't know you, who are you? What do you do?
So my name's David. Community. Everybody calls me Sideline, and I do a few things. Day job is technology consulting, and then on the side, I manufacture a mobile TV system that's primarily used for high school football, and that is what pulled me into the 3D printing world. My bamboo printer here, the X1 was my first printer, and I bought that printer to start printing my own parts because I was having those parts outsourced. And so from then on, I have the extra ones back here, the three P1Ss to ramp up more production on my parts, and then ventured off into now also printing parts for some of my vendors that I buy my products from.
Sorry, I've seen if I could get this echo down, but that's awesome to hear. So now we're going to ask a handful of questions here, sometimes in depth, and it might make you cry, but pull your heartstrings. But are you ready for an interview?
Sure, let's do this.
Awesome. So, like I said, now Sideline, he has been involved with Polymaker. So on that, how did you start with Polymaker? Or, well, you don't work for, but how did you get involved with Polymaker, I should say?
Is it interesting? So I was hanging out in the bamboo studio, a bamboo world, when I first got my bamboo, and then somebody said something about some filament called Polymaker. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go check this. Let's check this filament out. We're always trying new filaments and trying to find a good product, and so ventured over to the community, and I've never left. It's been about 2 years now, and so. Now I hang out in the community most nights. I love Polymaker. It's been a very great product. It's been a great product for my manufacturing side. My clients like the product. It works extremely well. My first filament was actually a turquoise or teal PET G, and I hated it. It would not print. But I didn't know how to print it. That was my newbie issue, right? But now, as a lot of people know, that's my primary product that I print for my cases, and actually for my clients also. So it's funny what I hated so bad, I love so much now. Hold on, I need to get some water.
Oh, you're gonna drink? Okay, yep. We will wait for him to be back in just a second here. Somebody didn't drink water, I think is what he said. Oh, hey. Is that glitching? Wait. What? Why don't we just... So we just take this down? Why don't you just come over and have a seat over here if you're... Where'd he come from? Like, what?
There we are. This is much easier.
Yeah, that's...
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
why didn't we just do this from the start?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Is that thing still on?
I think it is, yeah.
That's why there was an echo. See, it makes sense. Pro streamer stuff. You got to figure this out from the beginning, but... So, again, welcome in, Sideline. This is going to be the first ever local interview. Sideline happens to be in my realm of the woods, helping out with some stuff. So, yeah, welcome in again. But you've already heard a little bit about him, kind of his brief history with Polymaker. But let's talk more about just your history with 3D printing itself. So how did that start? Was it something you just wanted to try, or was it out of functionality?
It was actually out of a need, actually. So I was outsourcing my parts for my case, and I've always wanted to have a 3D printer, but I did not have the time to tinker. And so I was then looking at getting more of an industrial product, and all of a sudden I see this, bamboo printer coming up on streams, and before it was released, before the Kickstarter. And I said, well, you know what? This is a lot cheaper than what I was looking at, so let me jump in on this. And I love it. It's been a great, they've been great printers for me. They've been rock solid. And so that's it. I mean, it was really out of a need, because I was, like I said, I was outsourcing it, and once I got it, I don't think my wife saw me for 8 months. I just lived in my office and learned how to print and tune profiles and tune the filament, and thanks to obviously a lot of people in the community who were always, I'm always sending them pictures. Hey, what do I do with this? Why does this look like this? And and that's again why I hang out in the community, because as they taught me, now I can give that back to the community.
And the community's been, like you said, great. Now we've talked before, me and you. I know you've harped on me a couple times. Is we do have a filament profile section on Discord, right?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be something involved with that we need to look into. So there are some profiles there. I want to go through and reiterate it. So I think yours is it available on download there?
My PETG profile, my PA612 profile, and a PA Pro, PLA Pro profile.
Yeah, and I know and he knows what he's doing, and I know for sure. In person, we printed some PETG parts last night, and I did his slice with his profile, or he sliced them, sent it to me, and it printed perfectly. So that's something that we're gonna work on. Maybe Sideline, will keep irking me enough to where I actually get it done. But there is a profile library that you can look through there. There's some stuff there. Hopefully everybody will work together and get that a little bit larger. But enough plugging that. We're here to meet this guy. But I said with the bamboo printers, that's only what you run solely, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I haven't delved into any other printers. My next one will need to be either a tool changer or IDEX. I need to start doing more multi-material printing. Yep. I don't do any multi-colors. I have AMSs on all my printers, but they're just filament management.
Loading,
yeah. I mean, I have different colors of PETG or different types of filament, but never anything that
never back and
yeah,
forth.
I'm never printing any dragons or anything, which I wish I did. I think they're cool. The stuff that everybody prints and that you see in the show off for your prints, they're always so awesome.
Oh yeah. You get to print the functional, not fun stuff, but that thing keeps you busy.
It does keep me busy. Yeah, it's all functional, unfortunately.
And now, I don't think recently you got a new laser, but you've been doing laser stuff too for a while, or is that before 3D printing or after 3D printing?
After 3D printing. So that laser purchase was specifically for a project, and I saw some people doing it online, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then this project came across my email, and I'm like, you know what? I got an idea. We can do this. So we ended up laser etching PLA Pro, which turns out amazing. It really does, and it's very easy to do. So it's a lot of fun. Now anything that I put on my cases that's black PLA Pro, I laser etch my logo. It works out.
And you can change, because I've seen like the different iterations. You can kind of change the color of that etch just based off the power and everything. Like
correct,
kind of a yellowish to white.
Yeah, it's actually removing the ink out of the almost like taking a tattoo off. It's kind of that same concept. So it goes from black to gray to a cream, a bright white, almost white, and then it starts getting darker brown, and then you're burning it. So it's you kind of find that sweet spot in there. But you can do. There's some sites that some people are actually multi-layering the laser etching, so you get multiple colors in your design, which is really cool.
Adds that little depth to it, a little shading and everything.
Absolutely. So there's obviously people out there doing more things. Again, for me, it was functional. I had to do some labels for some enclosure.
And that's a lot of what, like you said, it was what you've printed. Is it's functioning. You find shortcuts to things, improvements to things. Let's talk about your case. So the Sideline View Station case, all those printed parts, those all designed by you in collaboration with, or
all by me.
all by
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
And
Except
that's
for the beginning end caps. They were sort of designed by somebody else with my input. That was before I really understood how to utilize SolidWorks as much. I would just open SolidWorks and look at stuff that my engineers
Stare.
would send me, say, okay, that looks okay, and then I send it back to them. But I never really modeled all that much, and that's again why my wife didn't see me for 8 months. I was
Sure.
learning how to model print profiles. It was, I thought, oh, I was just gonna, drag, drop, print. That's what they show,
Yeah.
right? No, that
eventually we'll get to that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now with your modeling, did you start with and stay with SolidWorks, or did you
Yes.
start, okay, so it was, and did
Yeah.
you YouTube, how'd you, SolidWorks isn't really something you necessarily pick up, but was it something you just tinkered with till you got it, or kind of a mix?
Yeah, years ago I took like a crash course.
Oh.
I actually went and took a class on it, and it was extremely helpful. And it's one of those things, riding a bike. You kind of get used to what you're doing and learning. And then what worked out a lot is because I have to look at SolidWorks files that are sent to me by my engineers.
To review.
So I analyze how they're modeling the parts that they're doing for me, as far as the aluminum parts and all the designs and stuff. But so it's really cool. Even they now they're sending me parts to print for them, as I'm now their print resource. So it's nice to kind of be able to look and see how they're doing, because these guys are off the charts with their 3D models, and their SolidWorks capabilities.
In-depth
It's
everything.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So,
I still use Tinkercad and 3D Builder while it exists, so I can do, like I always say, squares and spheres, and I can do a little bit of remixing here and there,
Yeah.
but that's about as far as it goes. But now with can you tell them exactly, like, what is, of course you talked about the box, the sideline view station box, what exactly is that for those that don't know?
So it started off, I was solving a problem. My son played high school football, and I was in charge of setting up all the sideline replay. And we are like, well, we got to get a TV. So we started with a 24-inch monitor, went to a 40-inch TV.
Do we have that
50-inch
old style
TV.
AV cart that we used to have in school?
Yeah, exactly. And we were breaking TVs on the sidelines. And it wasn't as much about breaking the TV and replacing the TV. It was like when the TV broke, it was like fourth quarter, playoff, when crucial.
When it matters.
When it could matter. And one year we were like, we just got to stop doing this. And I'm like, I can come up with something. And I had this little kit thing from 80/20 extrusion, and I'm like, I can make something out of this. So I called up one of the companies that's their distributor and started working on it. And 6 years later, I got my patent last year on the product, and I've got 60 units out in the U.S. And this one here, I'm actually building one here in Joel's house, so I can hand deliver it to a school here in Ohio at the Cleveland Browns Stadium tomorrow.
So fun times.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to have a good friend here in Sideline to get to do fun stuff. And we were up probably a little bit too late last night,
Yeah.
but we got enough sleep to get by for the day. Now I'll let you tell us, since this is more about you, is like you said, so he's here to build that. We picked up, so the 80/20 extrusion is in Indiana. It's close to my home, close to where I picked up Sideline from. We got to visit that, and like, you want to tell them about that? To me, it was just awesome. It was just it's a fun time.
It was so cool. I've never seen it either. I've heard my reps from Neff Power tell me about it. They're like, oh, whenever you get a chance, you got to see the factory. And it's just massive. What did he say, like 300,000?
300,000. And real quick too, like for those that most of you probably know what an extrusion is, but Ender 3, the little black metal bars that are all through it that have the cool little design and slots in it, that's extruded aluminum extrusions. So just so you know that, and they just do a lot more than just the Ender 3 style extrusions. There's so many types, but
oh yeah,
but yeah, but the visit was just it was
awesome.
fun.
It was fun to see how the whole process from these massive long bars to actually they're kitted up, and like they come to me in kits. They do all my machining for me and everything else. So it's really cool to see how that whole process works and how smooth it, and how fast they pump these out. It's crazy. And their Tetris capabilities of packing bars this big with bars that are massive, you're like,
They got a system.
Yeah,
that's
they
for sure.
do. They really do have a system. Down
And how many things would you say in that factory? Well, what was it say? What percent of things in that factory were created and used, like fully used in production, made out of extrusions?
Yeah, I say 90%.
90. It's
Yeah, I mean everything has some sort of extrusion. The coat
hanger in the
coat hanger
bathroom.
in the bathroom, and I mean the benches in the locker room were all extrusion.
Big
All the
extrusion.
carts, everything's extrusion. the stairway handrails and
The
supports
frames in
and-
the office
yeah.
windows and
Yeah.
picnic tables for the crew to eat at. I mean,
It's
when he
addicting.
says 90% extrusions, this place was 90% extrusions and in useful ways. And like I said, the carts doing, you know, hundreds of pounds of extrusions across the place. Those are all made out of extrusions, angled with casters on the bottom
Yeah.
of them. It was just, I was floored by it because you never really, I think it'd be a good tour for anybody, or even like a video tour for somebody to take, because you don't realize how many things you can make with extrusions. And he's been on me a lot of times of, I modify my workshop. I've done a filament room recently of, you know, you can use extrusions in that because your workshop is probably about 30%, 40% extrusions.
Yeah, I have extrusion racks for all my filaments in the office, as you saw in the picture that we took. And then my workbenches are all out of extrusion. I have whiteboards that are, the frames were extrusion. You know, even at the high school, I did above the press box, we did massive billboards that were all extrusion. You know, on the walls, everything. You know,
you don't have to worry about rust and anything else.
no rust, no nothing. You know, and it's fast, it's easy to do, and it's, you know, it's like they say, it's a grown man's erector set. It's just, it's so addicting because you can do so much with it that you're like, okay, well, what else can I make out of this? What else can I do with this? You know?
I've got plenty of ideas. Like I said, just taking that visit with him is just so many ideas. And if we had an extrusion ambassador for the Discord, this would be the guy, because he knows his extrusions and what he can do with them. And I mean, he's only scratched the, now seeing what I've seen in that factory, I mean, you just scratched the surface of what even you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But now, so with, you got the sideline view station, is there anything else that you do 3D printed or related that can be? And if you want to talk about any of the other,
you know,
ventures.
Just as far as we're spinning off a site coming up soon, hopefully by the end of the year, called customendcaps.com, because that's kind of what started my whole 3D need. Was I was utilizing aluminum in a way that there wasn't a way to protect the end, so I didn't want to have players get cuts on their arms or something like that. It was
Maybe some
exposed
sharp
metal,
edges, yeah.
and somebody suggested, well, you can 3D print a cap for that. And I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, no, you know. So we did it, and it looked okay. You know, it was PLA, and it you could tell it was, you know, it was quite a few years. It was 4 years ago or something like that.
So,
you know, 5 years ago maybe. And you know, so now when I brought it in and started using PETG, using PLA Pro, using textured beds, and giving the product a better look, my vendor, where I typically build my products, I build it in their warehouse. They were like, "Those are really nice. Would you sell those to us?" And I'm like, "Well, sure."
yeah.
You know, so now they're buying those end caps for me in order for them to use in like FedEx carts and in Amazon distribution centers, and you know, so it's weird how that circle came about. So we figured, you know what, if this company likes it, why not spin up a site? And you know, we've got all the modeling, we've got everything down, we've done so many different iterations of parts to work within the extrusion that we feel that they're a great resource. You know, so you know, give it a try and see what happens.
And there's only 1,000 colors you can do them in too, so you're even more customizable.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's the benefit, because at the factory it's like 80-20. You can get maybe 4 colors. You know, black, red, yellow. You know, maybe blue. I think. But they're ABS. They're really thin. Mine are either I can do anything, right? So like my racks in my office are all socket-head capped countersunk, so they're fatter. They look really nice. And that was because Computer Medic wanted his, when we did racks for his office, you know, he's like, well, I just want socket-head caps around. And I'm like, okay, well, here, I'll model it up and see how it looks. I'm like, darn it, now I got to change mine.
It looks
You know?
good, yeah.
It looks better than what I have.
You know, that's probably what, iteration 2020, because
yeah.
And that's, I think we talked yesterday, just how many iterations, because there's, of course, there's a lot of different parts that he's done. Some stuff that we've talked, and I won't go into details, just solves such a simple problem.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many times do you think, and not just one specific model, how many times do you think you've done reiterations or changes between like all the stuff you've done? Thousands?
Oh my God, yeah. Certain parts, they took quite a while. You know, different iterations of them. You know, sometimes I had to just let the case go out as it, you know, as is, with not a part tuned the best. You know, I'm a little particular about making sure they work, because in the end, I won't build the product. It'll be built by somebody else. So these parts that I'm manufacturing for the case are going to be in somebody else's hands. So I want them to look like they're professional parts. I want them to work like they're professional parts. Sometimes I wish I didn't. I can just put some stuff in.
Just
some
throw
of
it
the
together
stuff you
and be
don't
done
even
with
see,
it.
right?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, and it's very particular. That's putting together this case is just even little things. It's just like a little neck. It's like you know, so even if it's going to be hidden, like it's he's I won't say he's labeled a perfectionist, but yeah, he's take pride in your work.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
You know, so. But if anything, I don't know what we got. 7:48. So if you guys want to start asking some community questions in Discord or not Discord, I mean you can ask in Discord. I'm going to see it. YouTube and Twitch. Go ahead and ask. They got us good and disturbed. Yeah. We were trying to be silly with it. It was fun. Yeah, then you got extra juicy. Extruded aluminum is so easy to work with. Sorry, I'm bending over because I got to read underneath my mic boom. Does anybody got any questions, extrusion wise, personal, in depth,
Not too personal.
life stories, and involvement in anything and everything? But but other than that I was going to ask something else and I just completely went mind blank on it. Okay, let's talk about. So tomorrow we get to go on the Cleveland Browns, which I don't want to hear the Cleveland Brown haters, but you got to go because the school is playing on the field.
Yes. This particular school, they must have a coach or somebody that's involved with the Cleveland Browns. So their first game every year is at the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, so it's not. I thought it was like a special game. So it's just the first game.
It's their first game. Yeah, the first game of the year.
Yeah, even cooler. So so we'll be traveling, and hopefully I don't fall asleep at the wheel, but we'll see. But here, Bob from California. Are you going to From Next? Are you going to From Next?
From Next?
From Next. Yeah.
I'm going to Form Next.
He's not going to From Next, but he is going to go to Form Next.
Yes, I am going to Form Next. Absolutely. Can't wait to go there. That's going to be fun.
Going to be an experience for sure. Let's see.
Rapid was an experience, and that was like 1/4 they said of the size of
huge.
Form Next. So, yeah, and it's going to be fun because that was the first time I got to meet everybody else from Polymaker. The team from Europe and some of the team members from China and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. I really, really, really do enjoy the Polymaker crew, the team, Xiaofan, the owner. Everybody is so nice.
Top
it's
notch,
such an awesome company. Yeah, definitely.
Well, one of many reasons I accepted an offer with them. So now you guys need to. I don't know what's the date on that. Is that in November? Form Next. Look it up.
How many cups of coffee do I drink before I deal with Brit?
Wait, who asked that?
One, only one.
Oh, Brit herself asked that. Okay. Let's see here. But for those in Discord, or if you're not in Discord, definitely come to our Discord. Whenever Form Next is, look it up, the dates and everything. If we're lucky enough, so when this guy was at Rapid, coming to a hangout, he came in and gave us a cool little walk around. So I know you got, YouTubers will put down kind of snippets of things, but it's pretty much, he was our personal chauffeur at Rapid for those that couldn't attend. Like, hey, what do you guys want to see? Bamboo Lab? Say, okay, let's go to Bamboo Lab and showcase. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll get lucky if he's not too busy at Form Next. Maybe get a walk around.
Oh, definitely. No, I'm not going to be too busy. I'll jump into the Polymaker booth maybe for a little bit, but other than that, Nick's like, nope, you go have fun and
go check it out.
Go check it out. But I definitely will do. I'll definitely jump in the hangout and stream. And
there you go.
You know what we'll do is we'll schedule it so we know, because obviously the time difference, so everybody.
Yeah, because if anything, we'll kind of, if we can figure it out like the Thursday before, and then I announce it on the show, like, hey, anybody wants to see a walkthrough? Hey, it's this time. So I think I see another question. Disturbed Medic, have you ever had a shipped out case get destroyed by shipping?
No, I've had one part break. It was a TV, and it was the very first case we shipped out, and it was because we shipped it in the wrong orientation. And
lesson learned.
Yeah. But the lesson learned was I drop shipped the TV to the coaches in the way I designed the case. They had the TV in 20 minutes, and they were very excited.
So it's,
it was a great test of, well, if they have to replace the TV themselves, did I do a good job of making it easy for them? And they did. So that was awesome, and the coaches were happy. They didn't care, But no, that's honestly, that's it. Out of all the cases that we've shipped out, that's the only one that we've had damaged.
Not bad.
Somebody asked something about what filament do I use for functional parts. You know what? It really depends on the need of the functional part. That honestly, I do use PLA Pro a lot. Certain things we will use PETG, but PLA Pro is primarily what I've been using recently. But again, it just really depends on the nature, where the part is going to be. You know, is the factory, is it hot? Is it going to be around moisture or oils or anything like that?
Yeah,
What is it
what's
going
it
to be
subjected
exposed
to?
to? Yeah. I was printing ASA on my cases, which I did. I do like the ASA. I do like Polymaker's ASA. It was between the ASA and the PET-G. Functionality wise, I kind of like the PET-G a little bit better because it tends to feel a little bit impact resistant than the ASA. But most of my parts are smaller also. And you know, ASA just is a little bit more. It's a little extra effort on the printing side than the PET-G. So that's also why I decided, you know what, I'm just going mainly. I do on my cases is mainly PET-G, PLA Pro, and TPU.
Yeah. Let's see, Adam over in YouTube, Additive Adam asks, where do you see View Station in the next 5 years? It's a hard thing to predict.
Yeah, you know, Adam, that's a great question, and I've been asked that quite a bit. So the first iteration of what we're doing right now is obviously, hopefully I'm not working 5-10 jobs. Hopefully I'm on View Station primarily. But, you know, the goal is to venture out into different industries. The way the product is designed, we're grabbing the low-hanging fruit kind of concept of the high school football because that's what we designed it for. But we have had other people come in and say, you know, hey, that would be great for search and rescue, or that would be great for drone, you know, just flying drones, because you can store everything inside. We have a battery pack that we have inside the unit. We can make the battery pack as big as you want to last as long as you want. Obviously based on storage, you know, the storage of the case. But the goal is to have more of a modular system for the larger case. We should be showing off a new case this season. We'll have a couple schools testing it out. Just a smaller case for the end zone. We'll have another case for the press box, and that was my original footprint, was 3 cases where we deploy technology and just make that technology deployment easy for the coaches, because they don't want to mess with technology. And the more you mess with wires, and the more you mess with antennas and all this stuff. So we've already tested a lot of this, and you know, we've proven that, you know, obviously the less you touch, the less problems you're going to have. And so that's the goal. What comes out of that, I don't know. You know, coaches always come to us with ideas on the high school football side, but I would really like to start, you know, eventually venturing out into different industries. Yeah.
I think I've seen a couple more. Let's see here. How many business ventures are you going to start? Extra juicy. I don't know, that name does not sound familiar.
Yeah. How many business? This is it for now. Because I do stuff with Polymaker. Like I work with Brit for Polymaker Education. I help with the Rep Rap festivals. I'm obviously hanging out in the community. I'm not an ambassador of any sort, but
You'll be helping at 3D Printopia.
I'll be out at 3D Printopia helping there. So that's it for now. I've told myself I can't take on anymore.
Let's see, Bob from California. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say no, but one feeds the other. So it's kind of interesting. Like 3D, be more of a concierge 3D print farm for my vendors is utilizing my printers when they're not printing parts for me. So that was something I wasn't expecting. So that's something that again is, you know, a
venture of sorts.
Yeah, a venture of sorts. It just happened to just be there. You know, I did bug them, to be honest. I'm like, you guys need to be using this stuff. You guys got to be using it. And now the engineers are really thinking about it, how they can integrate 3D printed parts into their designs. Yeah, it's opening up a lot of doors.
There you go. Then Bob was asking, can you write on the screens with a pen? The intro video on your site looks awesome. It's a very refined video. It's very, very
Thank
well
you.
done.
You cannot write on it's a whiteboard basically. It's like a glass whiteboard that you have on your wall. We use a scratch resistant polycarbonate for the front panel. And again, that was one of those things that I didn't think about. I just put the panel there to protect the TV. And then, you know, I was at a client's conference room, and you know, they had a glass whiteboard in there, and I was like, I wonder if we can do that. And then when we had it out on the field, I handed a coach a dry erase marker, and he went crazy. He's like, what? I can actually write on it? Yeah, go ahead, try it.
Yep.
You know, so
rather than touching the screen or pointing at it, like, oh, here, I can just circle here, and he's moving this way, and watch it. On the video, of course, I see, you know, I don't watch too much football, but showing where each player was moving and, you know, what you got to watch for. So yeah, it's just a cool little added concept, like you said. It was just kind of another iteration that you see that's a need. They could use this. Let's add it to it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And we kept the whole concept was to keep the case and the product very what I call analog. We don't have gas actuated shocks. We don't have pneumatic tires. It would be very difficult for anything on the product to break. And that was the goal, was that they would be buying this product, and this product is going to last them years.
There you go. Let's see if there's any last questions. You're on the screen. Sometimes low tech easiest things. Redo. Okay, so we're right on time. Look at that. Now I just got to find, where did I put my stuff? Because I can't memorize 5 questions. Actually, there's not going to be 5. Rapid fire question time since community's done. Thanks everybody for your questions. Now we're gonna hit them hard, guys. It's local. We're not gonna take it easy. First things first. What's your favorite color filament?
Well, the filament I use the most is red, obviously on the case, and it's PET G. My favorite filament, I would have to say, is the first filament that I used, which I made. It actually was the only creative thing I did. Was I made placeholders out of Protopasta's translucent gold glitter filament, and they came out great. It was awesome. It was one of those things that the wife loved. She doesn't like anything else I do. You know?
So now, of course,
all the other stuff is very boring.
Your wife loved it, but what would you say that the print that you're most proud of that you've done?
It would have to be some of the parts in the case that I can't really say anything about. But yeah, because they're so basic and so simple, but they solve such an incredible problem and speeds everything up. So
I agree.
those things are very important to me. That they feel good because has so many factors, and again, Polymaker filament is a big part of that because they need to flex in order to work properly, and so yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then what is the biggest print that you've ever done?
A cathedral for my daughter out of Polymaker marble.
Oh, even better.
Yes, yes. So she had a project in school for her Latin class, I think it was, and they had to do an old cathedral. So that was a large. That was I think 36 hours total for all the parts.
Which is a lot, but not a lot at the same time. Like a bamboo, but that's still probably a pretty decent sized one.
Yeah.
And she was, I'm sure, super proud of it.
Oh yeah, the teacher kept it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Teacher asked her if she could have
Did you
it.
invoice her on that?
Yeah, no. I did want it back because I wanted to fix a couple things.
Oh yeah, nitpicking it already. Like it's just your daughter's school project. Like, the sill, there was a little bit of overhang. Let me at least just take a deburring tool to it. Next up, now that which you've traveled many times, but Arizona or Ohio?
Oh my God, the weather here is just awesome. I mean, here for sure during the summertime.
There you go.
I mean, Arizona's just scorching hot.
Where do you see more trees?
Oh, well daily here.
Yeah. It's great. He's amazed by the fact that for those that are in Ohio or like in surrounding states, of course, there's tons of fields. That's obvious, but just out in the middle of like every field is just a square off woods. Like, why is there just a squared off section of trees? Like, I mean, I've seen them all my life, so I've never questioned them. But I'm like, I don't know. Like, was it just that way, or did they farm around it? Was it somebody else's plot of land? I don't know. If anybody knows the answer, let us know. But yeah, there's just randomly placed squared off woods and sections of field, but it's what it is. But last but not least, for anybody that may be a coach, maybe athletic director, may just be involved with sports, mainly football, where would they go to find a really cool product to use on the sideline?
Oh my God, viewstation.com.
There you go.
And that's VUE, viewstation.com.
Yep, just like above his head.
Above my head.
Yeah, now I got your logo in there. I'm pro here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is Pro Studio. He got to tour our 50,000 square foot studio.
It's awesome, yeah.
We rode in the Bugatti.
Yeah,
yep,
absolutely.
So, and for Danny, if you're watching, he's been to 2 of the mansions so far, not the 3rd one yet. We're going to take a tour of that tomorrow. So now, other than that,
we're having breakfast tomorrow at that mansion.
They're gonna come pick us up, and then my personal chef is gonna take care of that. But other than that, is there anywhere that other than of course viewstation.com? I think we've talked about this. You don't really have socials. Is anywhere else that people can kind of follow you or see what you're doing, or just kind of trail you behind you in Discord?
Yeah. So you can go to Sideline Review at Sideline Review. That was the previous name. We had to do a name change recently, which we actually today we feel was a good move. So, but right now all the socials are Sideline Review. But we do have view station for all the socials, but they're not up and running yet, but they will be.
There you go. So yeah, so I thank you very much.
Sorry, people. But
Yeah, back and forth. Yeah, at least both names will take it to the same place.
yes.
And if you're searching it, so it's all out there. But want to thank you for being on the show. You didn't really have a choice because you're in my home. So
That's true.
there's actually a tether right now that he can't get out. So, but you can hang out here, and you can be the first time that you're here for a giveaway.
That's
So-
awesome. Yeah, let's do that.
So thank you for coming on the show.
This is fun.
Thank you for being on the show still. So for those that are still watching, type in I am awesome. We're getting ready to do a giveaway, spool of filament. So get that I am awesome in chat, just like you see people type it in now. Copy and paste it, type it yourself. No spaces, but no underscores or nothing crazy. Get it typed in. If you're not sure you did it, do it again. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to break anything. Get it in there, because I'm going to talk about some other stuff, some projects. So as we talk about every week, we have so many projects with $1.5 million coming between my ideas, Nick's ideas, Sean's ideas. There's just so much. There's not enough time to have it all out there. But for right now, you can go search Polymaker figurines, led by Antoine Dimensions, and he does a Polymaker Polymaker. He is a Polymaker. He does a Pokemon every 2 days on the Instagram, TikTok, across the board. And once he does those videos, those models become available on Maker World to download for free to print in multicolor or single color, however you please. And they're amazing models. I may be biased, but I think those like the best Pokemon models out there, because I've printed several of them and they've come out amazing. So definitely check them out across the socials. We also have another program led by Creatrix Brit. What's that called?
Polymaker Education.
There you go, Polymaker Education, and that again is across all the socials, YouTube, TikTok. There's a lot of things she's working on, so there's going to be some more videos coming. This guy's in the background helping out. We've got some other background help, and Creatrix Brit is just, running the forefront there. So a lot of things coming, and that's kind of the same setup as the Polymaker figurines. Is when those videos come out, those models are available to download, print yourself to use, and again, that's education and helping children, with motor functions. I always mix up motor functions, life safety things, and vehicles, and food safety, and
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
like
Brit's awesome.
yeah.
She researches this stuff and she makes it really fun for the kids.
Yeah,
So
I had a
it's-
chance to talk to her. Yeah, and that's like you said, she does a ton of research. Like, so it's not just oh hey, she sees hey, let's model a pair up and it's a pair. There's certain things of like, how can this help with this? How can this help with this? And that's I kind of had a little in-depth talk with her, and it's interesting to see what goes in it, because it's not just hey, let's find something and print it. Mine's a little bit
Print
easier.
show.
I kind of just find cool headlines and run with it. But there's a lot of work in there. So appreciate your help and her help and everybody else that's involved. Last project, of course, is right now the Imprinting Color show, led by Pezliz at twitch.tv/Pezliz. And that is every Wednesday. Time kind of varies, but she's got a whole slew of things. She's been through the Galaxy, I think it was just recent. The Celestials, of course, her favorite there. But there's so many colors out there she's going to go through and review, and kind of just different ideas and uses for them. And there are so many more colors coming. You know that Polymaker does not stop producing, and they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep it going. So keep on getting your requests in there. Keep busy on the Discord so you can join the Awesome Squad. See some really cool kind of behind the scenes happening when we have our Wednesday night meetings. So just a lot of cool things there. But with that said, I hope everybody got their I am awesome in there. So if you're not, you better hurry, because I'm getting ready to click the button. And boy, I had an extra scene. I got confused. Oh, we cut out sideline. There we go. So
Wow.
there we go. So we're gonna go do the drawing. I hope everybody's in there, and here we go. Oh, and Sebastian, I forgot. I seen you asked earlier, I think during commercials. I'll get to you in a second. Stay tight. Ram Online 79. Been in contact with this guy. He's got a lot of wins coming. So just add it to the list, Ramon. Yeah, so I think that's like probably 500 wins that this guy's got across the board from all the YouTubes and Twitch streams and everything else. But Ramon, are you in here? If not, he doesn't get it. If he's not in here, I get his filament, because I definitely need it. Come on, yeah, tag him in there. I guess I could type too. Where you at, buddy? I know you're out there in the world. There you go, Builder's Mark. Come on. He wins regardless. I'll reach out to him if he doesn't reach out to me. I'm actually in contact with him right now on some stuff. So either way, congratulations, whether you fell asleep on us or not. But with that said, before I start to do the outro, well, we're going to go ahead and I lost access to Twitch. So does anybody know anybody that's live? Because I can't access the Polymaker Twitch right now. I know I'm on it, but it's through the Streamlabs and it doesn't let me see the list of people live. Let's see. Polymaker 3D is live. I don't know. Can I, for the pros, the pros, thanks there, Granny. Yeah, I'll raid us. But can you raid somebody that's not on the list? I don't know. We like to try to raid somebody that's in the picture.
That could be scary though, raiding somebody that's not on the list.
Well, I mean, if they 3D print, because I know I follow many, but there's not anybody. Come on, there's got to be. I can't see anybody else. Jano's usually around, but I can't see. Where's Pezla's when you need her? Come on, actually, no, Pez, you're in here. Who can we raid that's online right now that's 3D printing? I'm watching chat, guys. So yeah, I just why isn't it? Oh yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, Maker Deck is on there. Yep, yeah, Maker Deck it is. So okay, but with that said, I can't type. Raid Maker Deck. Okay, Raid Maker Deck channel. Okay, yeah, we're good. So with that said, thank you, Sideline, for coming here and actually letting me be a part of some really cool, fun stuff, and then coming on the show here. So it was
a lot of fun.
It was a fun little local interview. But with that said, we're gonna be here again next week. We're gonna be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard every Thursday. Tune in, whether you're on YouTube or Twitch. Tell your friends if they're into 3D printing. There's some fun stuff. You can win some filament. You never know what's gonna come next. There's gonna be some updates to the show as we go along here. But until then, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hope you guys all have a good week, a good weekend, and we hope to see you here next week. See you guys later.